Hey guys, what's up? James here from Embark, and today I just want to talk to you about my personal journey with cryptocurrency. So I started looking into cryptocurrency at the beginning of 2017. I'd just finished up my job as investment manager at a student letting agency, and I was starting my own company. Obviously a lot of time spent doing that and trying to build that up, doing the marketing, speaking to investors, things like that. Luckily I had a load of contacts where I was already, load of contacts from my previous work, so I already had builders, carpenters, plumbers, all sort of tradies, and I had investors already on speed dial. So I got clients pretty easily, pretty quickly. And this left me with a little bit of time to spend doing some other things. And one of those things was I had a little bit of savings. It was, I think, around about £5,000, and I wanted to invest that money. Now, for me, it was just absolutely play money. Like, if I lost it all, absolutely no problem whatsoever. I'm just going to make it back. So I had no issues with being kind of risky with it, basically. And that led me to cryptocurrency. I can't remember where I saw mention of Bitcoin or Ethereum and things like that. I can't remember. But I can just remember starting to talk about it with my brother, with a couple of my roommates, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to do some research. I'm going to spend like 4 to 8 weeks just researching cryptocurrency, see if it's something that I want to invest in, even though I'm in a position where I can just YOLO that money and just ape into it. I still want to do my research. All right, do your own research is number one rule when it comes to investment. You've got to do your own research. So I decided to go down the rabbit hole of cryptocurrency. Sometimes I was doing 14-hour days, absolutely devouring information on cryptocurrency. Found it fascinating, found it interesting. There was so much to learn because it's such a new thing for me, that I just had to learn everything from a basic level upwards. So that meant hours and hours and hours of research. And this amount of time was spent sort of going between Wikipedia and looking at loads of different technical terms such as proof of stake, proof of work, Byzantine, fault tolerance, blockchain, forks, Merkle trees, hash rate, just everything like that. I'm like, every single Wikipedia page I open to learn about a term, there's another 3 or 4 links that I need to click on in order to understand the first page that I was on. So, you know, I was just going down this rabbit hole of learning the terms, learning what blockchain technology as a whole is about. Then there was other resources, so I was splitting my time between looking on Twitter, speaking to loads of people, connecting with loads of people, trying to understand what was going on, looking at loads of people's tweets, finding information from people who had been in it since 2013, 2012, whatever. Spent loads of time listening to podcasts. Whenever I was going to the gym, I was listening to a podcast on the way there, on the way back, sometimes during, depending on the session. I'll actually link my favourite podcast in the description below. It's Tim Ferriss' podcast with Naval Ravikant and Nick Szabo. Goes over some terms and then builds up to some more advanced thinking behind cryptocurrency and blockchain technology as a whole, and then also what it means with regards to sort of decentralization and how it's disrupting finance as a whole. So that's an awesome podcast. That's the one I always recommend everyone to go listen to. About 3 hours long. Check that out in the link in the description. I think it was probably around April, May. I was like, you know what, I'm going to start thinking about actually purchasing some cryptocurrency. So then I started looking specifically at which cryptocurrency I'd want to buy, what would be the best strategy, looking at prices, and working out if I wanted to divide my money or put majority of it in one coin, or what to do, basically. So that's when I started thinking about it, sort of probably April, May time. Then I finally decided to bite the bullet, and I decided to go with Ethereum as a whole. My suggestion to my brother at the time was actually, if he wanted to invest £1,000, it would be like £300 in Bitcoin, £200 in Ethereum, and then split the rest between the next 10 to 15 top market cap coins on coinmarketcap.com. And instead I didn't go with my own advice, I just went into Ethereum wholeheartedly, and I brought around about 12 Ethereum over the course of like 5 or 6 months from June 2017 onwards. So overall, my purchases look like this. So I brought about 4.5 Ethereum at $395, 3.5 Ethereum at $185, 2.7 Ethereum at $263, Then as it got up to December, when it had the peak of 2017, I ended up getting 0.63 ETH for $1,035 per ETH, then 0.36 ETH at $940, and then after probably a little bit of the way through 2018 on the crash down, I brought 1.5 Ethereum at $457. And I also purchased a tenth of a Bitcoin in 2018 at around $10,185. All in, it was around about 5,000. As I said, that's how much I had to invest, and that's how much I wanted to invest. And my portfolio was doing really well until that crash of the end of 2017. I think it got up to sort of £23,000, so it 4x'd since then. And then obviously it crashed back down. And I didn't sell. You know, I should have put some stop losses on, I should have taken some profits, but I didn't. You know, I'd done a lot of research into the technology itself, blockchain technology, but I hadn't really done any research into trading as a whole. So, you know, I wasn't really familiar with selling. The fees at the time were really expensive to sell, and I thought that would basically just cripple how much profit I'd got, which obviously in hindsight was just ridiculous to think. But I decided to hodl. You know, I just kept all of that, and I've kept it until very recently. 2018 through to 2020, March 2020, when coronavirus hit, not much went on really. There was obviously a lot of small projects, a lot of altcoins, a lot of things like that, but I never really got into it. I was doing other things. So I just left my cryptocurrency on my cold storage, on my wallet, on my Ledger Nano, just left it there, didn't touch it. So of course, coronavirus hit in March 2020. That's when all stocks, cryptocurrency, everything crashed in March, and cryptocurrency sort of hit new lows. Bitcoin, not so much. I think it went down to around about $6,500, but like Ethereum had one day where it dropped to like $90, which would have been an absolute steal. But hey, it went on a crazy bull run since then. So throughout the whole of 2020, from that low point in March, it just continued to get better, all the way through to now. The market cap as a whole got back to where it was pre-crash in 2017. We saw Bitcoin hit an all-time high. It went through its sort of 19,500, 20,000 all-time high, pushed through that, and rocketed and kept going and ended up around about 60, 62, 63, whatever. Then it came down again and went up, and it's been volatile since that point, but crazy bull run. And I decided at this point, I'm going to take some profit. So I sold half my Bitcoin, around about $44,500, and then I sold the other half about $55,500. And I've brought a little bit back since then, but that's where I sold at. And I also sold some of my Ethereum around $1,800. More recently, I sold just over one Ethereum, like 1.25 Ethereum, I think. I sold for $20.80 at $20.80, I think it was. I think it just peaked to $2,100 and it just dropped down, and that's when I had like a little stop loss on, so I sold that. So I've taken some profits in all of my Bitcoin and part of my Ethereum. Since then, I've bought a little bit of Bitcoin, so I've got about $2,000 worth of Bitcoin. I've got 5 Ethereum left, so I'd sold 7 roughly of my 12 at the time, and I've got about $15,000 of USDC, which is a stable coin. I'm currently playing around with DeFi in the form of Harvest Finance, and I have a good amount of crypto held in the custodial platform Nexo as well, nexo.io, and I'm currently getting 12% interest on my funds there, and I'm actually going to do a review on Nexo as well. That's going to be on the channel, so look out for that. And so that's it basically. I've been in crypto since 2017. I went deep on Twitter, followed loads of the top guys there, and I've just been listening to them and watching them, paying attention to what they're paying attention to for the past, 4 years now, just over 4 years, which is crazy. There's no crazy trades or insane amount of money that I've made, but you know, so far pretty decent return on investment realistically. Since then, definitely made good money. I'm happy with that. I've learned some lessons along the way, which is brilliant, and that's going to help me in the future. You know, I'm going to carry on progressing with crypto. I'm going to look to do a few more trades, get in on some dips, play around with DeFi a little bit more and things like that. So I've got that little bit of practical knowledge now, not just the theoretical. You know, I'm not just reading up on projects. You know, I'm actually playing around with them, buying a bit, seeing what it's about, and that's a really fun, interesting way for me personally to learn about these projects, is actually buying some of the coins or actually going on the platform and utilizing it a little bit. And I think that's really cool, and if I hadn't have got the profits that I'd had originally, I wouldn't be doing that now. So I'm really glad that that is the case, and it's definitely something that I think most people should try and, you know, understand realistically. It's new technology, the crypto space is huge, it's disrupting finance as we know it. I think a little basic understanding of blockchain technology and cryptocurrency will go a long way for anyone, just in case something crops up, friend tells you about something, and you have a little bit of knowledge at least to be able to discuss it. Because realistically, it's giving power back to the people. You know, it's taking power away from finance, from big banks, from governments, and it's putting it in the hands of people, and that's important. So I think it's something that everyone should spend a little bit of time looking at and learning about. And it's really going to take off in the next 5-10 years. So the more people that are interested, the more money that comes there, the more smart people that come there, and the more everything just progresses and builds, which is awesome. So that's it from me. That is my crypto journey. I just wanted to give you a little background of when I started and how it's gone for me. If you're interested in cryptocurrency and there's anything you particularly want to know about, then let me know in the comments below. Anyway, that's all from me today, guys. I've been James from Embark, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.